Hello everybody, 4-star here, and we are here with a NCAA 06 tutorial on how to make NCAA 06 jerseys. Now, with this game with PCSX2, they've added a function about a year ago called texture dumping, and that texture dumping and replacements. That allows you to dump the textures in the game, find out what texture you want to replace it with something, any picture you want, as long as it can fit. It fits into the image. You copy the PNG file name, you put it in the replacements folder, and then you are good. So this is what we've been doing for the NCAA 06 Next mod, and I'm here to show you, to the best of my ability, how to replicate and create your own jerseys so you can put it in NCAA 06 Revival. So the first thing you need is a PC that can run PCSX2. We should have PCSX2 in the description how to download it. This is the latest version. I will be skipping this update. But this is the version you really want to be playing with. 1.7 or better. I have the latest version of Nightly, and as you can see here, we have our archive of games here. Now we're going to be using NCAA 06. This is a modded ISO that I got from help from Android, and I'll be putting his video on how to mod the ISO of the game in the description below, as well as everything else that I try to implicate in this video that I'm going to be showing you. Now, first, you need the game. You need a PC that can run PCSS2, which should be virtually any PC nowadays because it is a PS2 emulator. And what you want to do is you want to boot up the game, and you want to rip out any textures for whatever team that you want. Now, for this particular video, I'm going to be using Louisiana Tech. They are a pretty simple team, and we should have no problem recreating their jerseys, home and away as well. They have a home, an away, and an alternate one. Now, that is very important because if you are dumping textures, they can have different textures for each jersey and pants combination. Now, in this game, I believe there's no helmet variations. There's just one helmet for every team, so you don't have to worry about that. You will have to switch that out, but we'll explain that later on in the video. Home jerseys will have a pants texture and a jersey texture. The away will have two different ones, and alternate one, depending on which team it is, will have a different jersey and a different set of pants. Now, with alternate one, we already know that this is red and no other variation comes from it from home and away. So this is a completely different jersey texture, which can be helpful or it could be a little bit bad for you, because then you'll have to just copy the texture that you wanted for alternate one. Maybe you wanted a red on red combination or blue on blue combination, and you have to implement that as well as the PNG file. Now, the pants might be the same as the home, but we'll figure that out as we play the game. There's also a helmet texture, which will be straight to every team, to every jersey variation. Does not matter because there's only one helmet texture for each team. And we'll have different number textures for home and away. And maybe alternate one, but I think alternate one uses the home. So there should be two textures for the numbers, home and away, and of course it's 1 through 7 in this game, and then 8 and 9. So you're gonna have to find two specific textures for each home and away jersey number, so you can rip it and replace it. Okay, so once you enter the game, you want to have both of your teams against each other, home and away. Primarily here on the field, just right before the coin toss. Don't accept anything. Don't even press any buttons. Just let them come to the center of the field because the game is already registering them as textures on the field. You'll probably get a lot of textures, probably of the cheerleaders or the referee's jersey and his face and all their other faces. Don't be afraid of that. Just search and you'll find them. It should be in your files here. That is the wrong one. So it should be in your files here. You're going to go to textures. Once you go into your file of your game, the game ID is 21214. You're going to go into your dumps here and you're going to find the jersey. Now I have a lot of stuff from doing a jersey before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my dumps, which is completely fine. They just take up a lot of space anyway. And then you make a new folder called dumps. This is what I do. There might be an easier way to do it. Once you go into dumps, it should be completely empty. So we're going to move this to the side here. Go into the game. Press F9 twice so it can take a snapshot of what's going on. And there you go. You got more dumps. So unfortunately for me, I don't believe there's any player on the team that has 8 and 9. So we're going to have to find those by going further into the game. This is what you're going to be looking for. You're going to be looking for the transparents. So these are the textures that you want to copy and paste into a folder called transparents. I have a folder called transparents, and I will be putting that also into the description. It'll probably be all in the Discord, and this will be how we do it. So I have a transparency template here. I'm going to copy. Here I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to name it Louisiana Tech. And we're going to paste this folder on here. So now the transparency template is made. I'm going to make another window here. So now that we have the dumps here, this is my template here. I shouldn't have the chin strap anymore because I messed up and made all the chin straps invisible, I believe. So don't do that. But what you want to do here is you want to find these transparents. Now I have them marked as home and away, so I won't get confused. So this should be easy. This will be the away. The colors is usually the away, so you want to put this here. Copy this. And then you want to paste this right in away 1 through 7. So there it is. Paste that on there. And what it will do is once you put your newly made jerseys on there, which will be at a higher opacity than the actual jersey in the game, it will block it out. It will block out the numbers that was originally on there. So what you have to do is these will pop up. These will pop up as black numbers. So what you want to do is you want to make them transparent. So these are all transparent images. And once again, I should be putting them in the description, in the Discord, any way you can find it. And then you can put these right here. Now you want to do the same thing for the 8 and 9, but we're going to have to do a little bit more work, as in we're going to have to probably play a play here, as it is not popping up here. Anything else like the patches. So we'll go back into the game here, and we'll see, like, we'll take a good eye here. It looks like they have a whack patch because they used to be in the Western Athletic Conference. So we're gonna look for that patch. There's a nice blue and a nice white one. Now the white ones will be harder to see because this game was coded and made in a lighter opacity, probably for some lighting issues. I have no idea, but we're gonna look for it. It looks like this might be it here. So we're gonna just copy here. So that's the patch 1. And now the white jerseys and the white patches are going to be very hard to find. As you see here, this was the white whack patch that they used for the home jerseys. And we're going to just copy this here and paste this here on patch 2. Usually any extra patches you can put on the extra. Don't mind the chin strap. I'm going to delete that anyway. And we're just looking for 8 and 9. All right, so once you call a play here, they should be able to pop up. So we found the first one. This should be for the home jerseys. And one reason you can tell if it's home if the number next to it is right beside it. So that was the home. So we're gonna take a little bit to search for the away here, and the away is right here. So what we're gonna do is copy and paste, and there we go. So this should be real. This should be realistically it. You want to have your transparent parents done first, so you can test it and it won't look all wonky. The next thing you want to do is you want to gather as much references and photos as you can, because you're going to be using these as references towards your art. Now, if you're making a whole new created team, that's up to you. You can do however you want it, and you could just move on to the jersey part and the pants part. But what you want to do here is you want to look up as many things as you can. Now, what I have here is I got sportslogos.net booted up. I got the helmet project booted up for any historical helmets that I would like to put in the game. Maybe I want to put the dog on the helmet. And you want to have some real life references. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use their 2021 uniforms that they used, not the ones on the it would be the ones on the shoulders that they used to use. But I'm going to use these for now, and maybe I'll have them as a throwback at a later time. And you really want to have as many references as you can, so you can make it as accurate as possible. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to probably use the K, the D, wherever it may be. I believe it was over here. The D, and maybe the E, which is this one right here. And it's not that hard to do. I'll probably show you guys how to put American flags or any type of patterns on your logos here. All right, so on to the jerseys. Now, this is a very important part. This is probably the main event of the evening, is the jerseys and the pants and especially the helmets. Now, I have three templates. Now, this template was made by Hadouken in the NCAA next team, 006 next team here, and he has a lot of useful things here. He has a Nike, Adidas, and I believe Under Armour here. Now this is a stripe pattern. We'll be getting into depth with that. You have the pants here, which is pretty simple. There's a lot of layers here, but you shouldn't be able to touch those. Not too much. I don't really touch those. This is a modified version that I use NC State on, and I like to use as a template. And then I made my own helmet template here, which we'll go into depth with here, but we're going to start with the jerseys. Now the jerseys, there's a lot of things going on here. You have the stitching. Now the stitching is at Under Armour by default. It's in its own little category here. And what you can do is, if the team does not wear Under Armour, you can just undo it. So you can just make that. Um, you can just unsee it. And this is for everything. You have other jersey stitchings here. And you have Nike and Adidas. This layer is, I believe, just a placement holder. Nike, you can put Nike up here. It's very nice and Nike-ish. And you got Adidas as well. Now Adidas, it comes with this nasty long black stripe, and it's not anybody's fault that it's long and black. It's just a little dark and it's very unappealing. So what you can do is, usually it's a black line here. Usually this one is open. All you gotta do is just hide this layer, and this would essentially make it a little bit lighter here. And you have a nice little template. It's called Stuff Don't Touch, but you can use it as well. Now this is for the shoulder. It will tell you a nice little area of where you can trace at, where you can trace your rectangles for maybe a triple line layer, or maybe a single line right here. Maybe you can make a little single line here. And then you got a part that has the wrinkles. Now this is the whole shoulder of the jersey here, because in NCAA 06 they use the shoulder of the jersey on one on they use the shoulder of the jersey and the actual jersey itself in one texture, which is very helpful. It is not that helpful in Madden because this would be two textures, one for the shoulders and then one for the jersey, which is not helpful at all. But I like to use this as a template for maybe some patterns I would like to put on the shoulders that is not really feasible, as you can try to draw it yourself. But I like to use this as a piece to draw a pattern. But this shoulder is very useful. Now I'm going to show you guys how to make a quick little triple stripe pattern here. I'm going to pull up my Louisiana Tech on my other screen here. So they use 2 white stripes and then a blue stripe. But right now I'm going to make the regular home uniform. So what you can do here is you can go to jersey color, and what you would like to do is, if you're trying to make it consistent, I'm going to go to my other screen here. If you're trying to make it consistent, you can always just go and look up their colors. Maybe they have a different variation. You go to team. I like to go to team color codes. They are the most consistent. Blue and red. Nothing too easy. Nothing too hard here. What I like to do is I like to get the hex. Number. So all you have to do here is just go here, and then all you'll have to do here is just go to your colors. It's already highlighted once you go on your colors here. I'm using this tool right here is the rectangle tool. It will have here on the appearance for your fill. So all you got to do here is put the hex color. It will be 002 F8B. Now that is the blue that they use for their uniforms. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to make a rectangle tool of yourself, of your own. Go to rectangle tool. And what you want to do here is you pretty much want to just trace over this little shoulder right here. So what you want to do here is you want to grab a color. I should use white. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to use white as the first color. So we're just going to drag this right here. White as the first color. You just do this right here. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can always edit it at the end here. The fill was blue, so we're just going to put this to white. And I clicked too many times. So you could just make adjustments up here. I kind of got the shoulder a little bit too much. It's right below it, but that should be fine. You can edit out the shoulder now. You can hide the shoulder now. You can hide this folder now. It's not going to help you anymore because you used it as a template. And what you want to do here is make another rectangle within this rectangle and try to make it as even as possible. Right here I'm going to use red. So the color code for red is E31 B23, and that is pure red. Then what we're going to do here is make a rectangle within the rectangle and try to make it as accurate as possible, but once again you can edit, and then boom, you got a nice little rectangle here. What you can do here is you might have a stroke at the beginning, so just take the stroke down to 0 pixels so it won't be there. And then what you want to do here is just nice and quick edits here. Maybe the stripe is too wide for you. I did press it again. Maybe the stripe is too wide for you. Maybe you want to make it a little. Maybe you want to make the inside stripe a little bit wider. That pretty much looks good to me. What you can do here is you can go out. That looks pretty good. Louisiana Tech, the Bulldogs. And what you're going to have here is a nice little stripe on the side of the jersey here on your shoulders. Now I might have a, let's see if I have a stroke here on the outside. I do have a stroke. So it was a transparent stroke, but it wasn't that bad. So 1 pixel. And what you want to do here is, like I said, you want to grab as many references as you can. And I believe Louisiana Tech has a logo on their collars. They don't. What you can do here with the Adidas here is you can change the color, and or you can make bring a new layer here to cover this Adidas if you don't like how it is placed or how it looks blurry. You can always just throw this away and then put a new Adidas logo right on there. But right now I'm going to stick with this because I really don't feel like doing that. A lot of things you can do here. You can make a lot of combinations here. We're gonna have to put the word marking up here. Usually, you can find the word marking on sportslogos.net. You can find the word marking right up here. But this is not the right word marking. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use a reference that I used before. To get the word marking, and that will be North Texas. So for North Texas, I went on sportslogos.net, went right down to the word mark, looked up mean green, dragged it on here, did a little bit of editing, and then this was the result. I put it right down the middle. With a little bit of editing, you can put it right down the middle here. For the Bulldogs, they use college lettering, so unfortunately I'm not gonna put that much work into it. And as you can see here, I put the mean green. I highlighted the number a little bit, and I put it right down the middle of the logo, right down the middle of the jersey, along with some feather textures that I got from the shoulders, like I showed you guys before. If you go to Don't touch, and you go to the jersey part that has wrinkles, you can pretty much edit this however you want, and then you'll end up with this result. That's a little bit more complex, and I'll show you guys about the about patterns later. Alright, so right here I'm going to add a word marking for the Bulldogs, as they have Bulldogs splattered right across their jerseys. And just taking a look on the other screen here, what does look like? And okay, so it's not that bad. So what you want to do here is you want to put this right here, right down the middle. I have college bold now. I can probably put that into the description here. I do have a RAR file with a lot of college fonts, but we'll see. So what I want to do here is just put Bulldogs. Probably want to make it a little tighter, yes. And with this, I'm pretty much done here. Do a little bit of this. Stretch out this a little bit. So what you got to do is just zoom in, hold Shift. You got to use the move tool, or press V. You just stretch it out a little bit. Stretch it out on both sides. Have a nice centering here. Maybe right here is good. And then you have the Bulldogs name tag here. So we're gonna take a second look. Looks decent enough, and once again we're gonna do a lot of testing when it comes down to seeing what the texture looks like in game. Right here we got Bulldogs. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna rasterize the type. Now this is very helpful. Very helpful when you want to customize the outline and the color of the font. Now you can change the color of the font before you even start typing. So what I can do here is I can control T to undo it, and the color of the font is right here. All you gotta do is change the color to whatever you want. Right now we're gonna go back to the red. So what I gotta do is I drop it here. You can use the eyedropper tool, whatever, as long as you got the text color or the color picker here. You can pick a color from anywhere in the screen. You can even choose from the little tiles that you have here for your main colors. You can check. You can even check your swatches over here for any other color you want. I'm gonna use a red because that's what they use. Actually, they use white, so I'm gonna go back to white. Once again, once you rasterize the type, you cannot edit the text at any point. So what you want to do is, if you're not sure if this is the text that you want to go with, I would make sure by going back, pressing Control Z, or you can go to Edit and then Undo, which will tell you Control Z, or you can click it and it will unrasterize the typing. Now what you want to do here, now it is basically a PNG at this point. So what you want to do here is you want to go to blending options, and this gives you a lot more options as well for numbers. But we'll get into numbers in a little bit later. So we're gonna go. You can go to color overlay, and once again you can change the color at whim. This is very useful to when you're done with the home uniform and you want to change to a away uniform, but it's already rasterized. You can just change the color overlay. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna cancel that, and then we're gonna do it to stroke because this is the outline. So we're gonna change the color to red here. We're gonna go to the color picker, go to red, and that looks perfect enough, but we're gonna just adjust it. Now I would adjust it one pixel at a time. That pretty much looks good. That looks almost exactly like how it goes. You can change it to 5 if you want to go crazy, but it all depends on the size of your font. If the font size is small, it will look bigger. If the font size is big, you can play around with it a lot more, and we'll show you, and I can show you that in the numbers once again. But we're gonna go with 2. It looks good. We're gonna stretch it out just a little bit more. Maybe we're gonna just go out here a little bit. Now, for some certain jerseys, it could be a little bit too close to the number here, so the numbers can start from like here to maybe down here to maybe up here. It all depends on the jersey, and the jersey placement, it will always be stuck. The number placement will always be stuck at a certain location because that's how they coded it. So just play around with it a little bit. I would say maybe right here looks good. Don't want to go too far. And then you want to add your logo on the side patch here. I believe they play for the Conference USA. And I don't think I have a Conference USA logo, so I'm going to have to find one. Alright, so now that I found a CUSA logo, what you can do is you can just click it if it's transparent. If it's transparent, you will have to click it and you can move it to wherever you like. This is a PNG. Most of the time you want to find a PNG. If you cannot find a PNG, then we'll have to do some selecting here. But right now, we're just going to use the PNG. We're going to bring it over here. It's going to take a little bit because it's Photoshop, and Photoshop can take a little bit. Right here, you want to just shrink this down, bring it right over here. It looks good. It should look good. Just adjusting, just a little bit of adjustments, and the CUSA logo should look pretty good right here. And that will be our home jersey for the Bulldogs. So that looks pretty good. And we'll go to the away uniforms. But right now we'll go to the pants. So we'll go to the pants right here. Alright, so for the pants template, there are a lot of layers that Hadouken put in this game, put in this file. That is just a little bit of mesh. You can play around with the mesh now. There's a mesh texture right here you can play around with. I don't really play around with these mesh textures, but some of the mesh textures look pretty good. I play around with the stripe texture just to see my outline here. That's pretty hard to see with a red jersey, but I like to play with the seams here because the seams are basically your template to make a nice little triple stripe. And the triple stripe uh, can be used just like the way we made the triple stripe here for the Bulldogs home uniforms. So right now I'm going to be making their white jersey, their white pants. I can make their blue pants. Yeah, I just need a nice template. Yeah, this is a good template. Alright, so we're going to make their blue pants to match up with their blue jerseys. So what we're going to do here is we are going to make a triple stripe coming down this way, because sometimes this could be a little bit too close. So it's going to be right here. And we're going to go back to the triple stripe template that I used, or the triple stripe method that I use with two rectangles. So we're going to take these seams off. You can follow these seams right here that are already embedded in the jersey. I'm going to make this blue. Change the color right here. We use blue. This is a much more cooler color. Then we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. We're just going to go to the rectangle tool. Go to the rectangle tool here, and there start midway. So I'm probably going to start right here, maybe. Actually, it goes all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to start right here. And then go down. And then stop just before, because they do not go all the way down. Stop right there. Now this is blue, so we're just going to change this here to white. Go to my fill here. It should be white. Actually, I think I got it way above here, so let's put it down here. I think it's supposed to be down here, right next to the color. There we go. Sometimes you gotta figure out where your layers is. That's one thing. That's one little troubleshoot. Sometimes your layer can be way above here and it won't look like the color. So what you gotta do is just bring it down and make sure that you can see the folds, so it won't look all artificial. So once you do that, this should be good. Take away the stroke, and then we have our first stripe. We're going to make another layer, and then we're going to switch that to red, even though this hasn't been following anything I've been doing. So let's just make this here. And once again, this doesn't have to be perfect. This second stripe does not have to be perfect. You can always adjust it. Always adjust it. Here you go. You can adjust that. Make sure that the stroke is at 0, or you'll have a nasty black mid stripe in the middle. Not want that. Press enter. That disappears. This can move slightly to the right here, which you can just use your tool here. Sometimes you want to lock some of these layers because for some reason it thinks you're going there. This looks pretty much even enough. Once again, you can always edit this square. Just hold shift. If you don't want to change the whole size, you just want to stretch it a little bit. This looks damn near perfect right here. And it looks like they have their stripe at a certain angle. So a little trick here is that you can make another tool. So I'm going to go with the triangle tool here. I'm going to go with the triangle tool, and I'm going to just make a triangle here. And we're going to make it blue. gonna change the fill to blue. Change the stroke to none. And then we're gonna just boot this all the way down to right before we get to the rectangles. This should be over the rectangles. And then we got a nice little stripe here. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna stretch this out just a little bit more, and it should look like this. And that is perfect. So you could do a lot more. You could do a lot of tricks with Photoshop here. Now, they do use Adidas, so I do have a faded Adidas logo. I should really change it, but I am particularly lazy at this point in time. I just want to show you guys how this works. The Adidas logo should be white, and it's a little faded, so I'll probably just hit Control J, which is make a duplicate, make a duplicate, make a duplicate. I made 3 duplicates. It's here on the side of the screen. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to merge them all. You do not have to do this. I'm just doing this because I'm lazy. But you can do this too if you want to. You can change the color and then duplicate it and then just merge all the layers. So I'm going to do all that. I'm going to merge them all. And this should be the product. I like to use this NC State as a placeholder. What is next is you want to get a logo and you want to put it right here. This is a big Louisiana Tech logo. Little bit off color. So I'm going to try to find another one. This is pretty good. It's nice on color. And it is a little bit blurry, but it's going to be on the side of the pants. So you're going to do this. You're going to drag this over to the pants template and put this right here. You want to hide this, or you could delete it. It's up to you. And that should be our jerseys. I'm going to take a second look. Maybe move this down a little. Maybe move this down a little bit more. Shrink it, shrink it, shrink it. I think that looks good. Once again, make sure everything's okay. And that is going to be our pants. So we're going to move on to the helmet. So I have a helmet template here, and I made it myself, and it comes with a couple pieces here that I want to show you guys. Now it comes with the shell. This is the shell. I put it as a white color overlay as a default, but this is the actual shell of the helmet. If you want to make an outline of this, if you want, you can, but it really doesn't matter at the grand scheme of things. So I just put a white color overlay over it. I have a front piece, which is the front of the helmet that has pretty much the lettering. It'll probably say the team name or the conference, but this right here I like to keep, so it won't look all like a helmet. I like to put this on top as well. I like to put the rear piece as well. The rear piece is part of the helmet, and it has a word marking on the back as well. But I'm going to show you just a quick overview on how to make a helmet. So Louisiana Tech, and you see how I have all these grid lines right before I go into it. I have all these grid lines because these are the grid lines that will navigate you to see how even the helmet is. Now, if you put it too far, it might bend because of how the helmet is shaped in the game, how the 3D models lock the texture into it. The helmet is going to bend. That's why this stripe is like this, because it is going to bend sharply. Now, if you make the logo too big, it'll start bending on the sides here. If you make it too small, it'll just look too small and you won't be seeing it. But we have a middle stripe here, and this is all rectangles here. So if you take away a rectangle here, you'll see I took away a rectangle here. And the only reason I didn't make it, I didn't morph it into one singular piece is because you can make this a little bit bigger. Maybe you want to make this a little bit bigger, and you wanted to copy and paste it, and make this a little bit bigger. This middle stripe is the whole stripe. You want to make it as even as possible. Sometimes it'll help, like Photoshop will help you. So it'll make like a nice little um, purple line or pink line right down the middle, and it'll show you that it is right down the middle. And what you want to do here is, if you ever wanted to make a stripe larger, so make your stripe large. You would make your stripe large, put it down the middle, and then you would put half of the stripe on to the sides here. So you'll put half the stripe onto the sides so it can morph, because this will be one stripe in the game. It will morph into the same size as the middle stripe. If you understand what I'm saying. Now these stripes right here is going to be half of this stripe right here. Of this rectangle right here, because once again the back of the helmet will morph into the same size as this helmet right here. Now you don't have to worry about the outer lines, because the outer lines are not going to merge at the end of the helmet here. As you can see, the side pieces will merge into each other. That will make one rear piece, and the same for the top pieces here. It will merge together to make one singular piece. So once again, you don't have to worry about the outer stripes here. The outer stripes here, you can take them away. You can put them on if you want to have a nice little triple stripe. Or a quick tip here, because I used to just put the stripes closer together. What you can do, if you want to make a nice closer triple stripe or a nice closer double stripe here, is what you want to do here is you want to go to the middle stripe, go to blending options, and then go to, sometimes it won't show, but go to stroke, and then you'll have a nice little outline you can play with, and it will mirror exactly what each side will look like. So you can make it about, well, you want to make it outside first off. You want to put it outside, and then you might want to say, hey, I want to put 20 pixels out here, and it will make a perfect close triple stripe. Now we can make this red just to make it look good. We can make this red, and boom, you got a nice little triple stripe close up, and you don't have to worry about trying to make them look right, because they're all the same size and they're all gonna look straight when you put it on the helmet. Truth be told, this is the inverse of the Louisiana State's helmet. So all we got to do here is just change this to blue. I can find it. We can change this to blue, which is the blue that they use. We can change this stripe. Let's go to the middle stripe here, and we can change it. We can go to blending options here, and we can change it to. We can change the color overlay to red. And I hope I'm explaining this really well, because I know I'm bad at explaining things. But this is basically your triple stripe. Now, I have a short stripe template right here, which is Columbia. And what you can do here is you can make a triple stripe by, let's see, let's take this out. Take away the middle stripe, put the outer stripe in, and then put the short stripe template. As you can see here, I mirrored it exactly. What you can do here is, let's say you want to make a short stripe template for a team that has short stripes, has short pointy stripes, right? What you want to do here is you want to take out the template for a second. Go to the outer stripe. You want to take out these stripes at the bottom, so maybe you're gonna have to play with it a little bit because I don't have them in a certain order. You can take these out. Take the middle ones out, take the bottom ones out, and let's see which one is the middle. Boom. So we got just this stripe right here, and what you want to do here is you want to make a triangle. Now it's going to be the base of the triangle is going to be exact same size as these right here. So what you want to do here is make a triangle, probably going this way. So this is a good base. And what you want to do here is you want to file, and you want to edit, transform. You want to rotate counterclockwise, and then you want to move it, and it looks pretty much exactly how you want it. Now you want this tip You want the tips to be touching each other. No homo. You want the tips to be touching each other. So what you want to do here, maybe you want to edit, shift, and then you want to go just like that. It looks perfect that way. And then you want to go shift. You want to revert it back to clockwise here. Oh, actually, you want to flip it 180 after you do this. Let's see, 180. And then match it right down here. Maybe you can make the stripe a little bit longer. That's why we got the template here. Let's see, we can make the template. And we can put the triangle right here. And then we could just stretch the triangle by holding shift. And then you can stretch the triangle not all the way down like that. But you can stretch the triangle here and get a nice short stripe template. You can warp the triangle if you want to make it a little bit bendy. You can also warp the triangle. By going to transform and then warp. And then you can warp the triangle maybe outwards. Maybe you want to go outwards like this. It might look a little weird, but you can make a nice little stripe that way. You can also make a large triangle and try to warp it at the same size as this one. You would do the same thing. All you have to do is Control J. So you just highlight on it, Control J. Make the copy. Don't want to do that. What I did right there. You want to move the copy. Move the copy right here. Make sure it's lined up correctly, so maybe you have to zoom in. That's pretty lined up here. Yeah, that's pretty lined up. And what you want to do here is you want to flip it horizontally. So you go to transform, edit, transform path, and you want to flip it horizontally. Make a few more adjustments, like so. And you got a short stripe. Now, also, you can do is you can make a bigger triangle, fit it to the side so it looks more straight. I've done it more straight before, but you can make it look more straighter than this, by just or make it longer than this with a little bit more thickness by making a larger triangle and just skewing it right here, skewing it to this size right here, and this will look pretty much exactly the same. A little bit, maybe a little bit of a cutoff, but it'll look as smooth as butter when you make it a short stripe like that. It'll make two long short stripes from tip to the base right there. Alright, for logo placements. Now, you gotta get your logo. And you can just drag this right over to the helmet template. This was one when I didn't have the trademark, so we're gonna delete that one. Drag this back over here. Now you see the logo is way too big and it's at the wrong place. Remember that these points are going to be your guides right here. These little the front piece, because that is going to be the front of the helmet. Now what you want to do is you want to have this one facing towards the helmet. So what you want to do here is you want to edit, you want to transform, and you want to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. For this side, shrink the logo down, and you can make sure that these little boxes right here are touching this line right here, because that makes sure that it is perfectly front. Now if you get a pink line here going across the whole PNG, that means that it is even towards the whole texture. I mean, it's even horizontally. Now, that looks pretty good. I'm going to double check. Maybe the logo could be a little bit bigger. Maybe just like that big. Maybe a tad bigger. Maybe a little bit bigger than that. It is a large logo that is on there. But this is pretty good. I like it. And we're going to go with that. And then we can just move this, as we can move this to the other side here because they use the logo on both sides of the helmet. So what you gotta do here is Control J. Have another layer. What you can do here is you can file, and then you can edit, transform, rotate 180, and then you'll have this right here. Now, once again, you want to match the boxes. It should be looking like this. I'm pretty sure Louisiana Tech has their helmets like that. Yes, it points away. And I'm going to make sure that this is the right helmet, a right logo for the right helmet. It is. And we're going to save it. Remember to file and save save a copy. You want to turn it into a PNG. Throw it into there. Sometimes you want to make a new folder, especially if you have multiple helmets. I have a helmet here. It will say white helmet. White helmet, you throw it in there. Boom. Perfect. You're going to do the same thing for your pants and for your jersey. You can also save it as a jersey. Or save it. You can save it as blue jersey, blue pants for now until you get the PNG. Alright, so now before we go ahead and test, I'm going to make the American flag version of Louisiana Tech's logo for you, and I'm going to show you how you can paste actual patterns into your logos and into your helmets. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make the chrome first. So we're going to make the chrome helmet first, and what we're going to do here is that we found a nice little picture of a nice little chrome, just a chrome pattern that we like to use, and we're going to open that right now. So just to not distract me, we're going to take away that. We're going to take away the stripe as well. So we're going to take away the stripe. It should be the middle stripe, and we're going to leave this blank, and then we're going to add the chrome. So this is the chrome texture that we use here, and what you want to do here is we're going to paste it inside of the helmet instead of just putting it on top of it. So this is what I like to do. I don't know how everybody else does it, but this is how I like to do. I like to Control A, and Control A will make a selection. Once it makes that selection, you can you can Control C to copy it. So what you want to do is Control A, and then you want to Control C. You want to go to your helmet. Once you go to your helmet, you want to just take away anything that can be in the way of it. This show the rear piece and the front piece. What you want to do here is you want to select all of your helmet here. So what you want to do here is, it's easier just to Control A. You're going to Control A, and then go in your lasso tool, and then just take off this little piece right here, because that is the side of the helmet that does not get used. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hold Alt. We're going to hold Alt, and then we're just going to make a nice little, it doesn't even have to be even. Just make a nice little edge here. Nice little edge. Once you get to the edge here, you just round it out till you get back to the point where you started. Nice little circle here. Maybe you want to make some adjustments right here, but for purposes, we're not going to do that. So what you want to do, once you get that done, you have the selection. You want to go to File. You want to go to File. You want to go to Edit. I don't know why I keep saying File, but you want to go to Edit, and then you want to go Paste Special, and it should say Paste Into. I have not pressed the shell, so you want to go to Shell, and then you want to go to Edit, Paste Special, Paste Into, and boom, you got this big ol' shiny helmet template here. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna leave it just like this. Boom. And what you can do for the other side, Control J. You just want to make a copy. Control J, right here. And what I like to do is I like to match the light source. So what I like to do here is I like to go to edit and I would flip it vertically. So I would just flip it vertically and boom, you got two light sources. Now this could cause a little bit of a problem as it will look shiny at the bottom of the helmet. So what you can do is you could just flip it vertical at the front. I like it shiny at the front. So what I would do is I would flip vertical and then I would just go here, transform, and flip vertical. So now you got something shiny at the front, shiny at the side. What you can do is you can also merge these layers. If you like how they're adjusted here, you can merge these layers, merge them, and then you can go ahead and you can change up the exposure here. Maybe you don't like it how it is. Maybe you want to expose it a little bit more here. Maybe you want to have it way shiny. Maybe you want to have it a little bit more dark. But the exposure is probably your best friend. You want to do that. Sometimes you want to make it a little bit more shiny than you want. Maybe sometimes it doesn't look right. You can change with the color. The color is a little different animal here, so you can change the hue and saturation here. Let's see. That doesn't help at all. How did I do it last time? Edit. That doesn't fucking help. Why I did that? Since it doesn't have a color, sometimes you want to go to color balance. Maybe you want to have a red. Maybe you want to have a red-ish, and just play around with it until you find you find the right one. I'm gonna just stick with red at this point, so I'm just gonna go back to 0. Red. Then you can mess with the hue and saturation. That will pretty much help with that. Like I said before, I would like it red. So then you would just mess with the saturation a little bit. Maybe you want it red like this. That's blinding red. But maybe you want it a little bit like this. Maybe you want to tone down the brightness a little bit. And then boom, you got a nice little shiny little red helmet. Now this might vary between in game. So just play with it a little bit and you can get a nice little texture. If you just want the base, the base is right here for you. It looks good enough. It looks shiny in the game. It looks great. This is as close as a chrome as we're gonna get at the moment. So play with it as you will. But right now we're gonna move on to the next step, which is testing out and replacing the textures. Alright guys, so this will be a little bit of cutaway here because I forgot in the last recording to implement the patterns. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a pattern real quick. First you grab your logo, have your helmet template here, and you're going to find a pattern that you would like to have. I'm going to use the American flag, so I'm going to go and find that file here. I should have it in my downloads. All right, so once you get your pattern and anything, you want to go ahead and you want to press edit. You want to go to edit and then you want to go to define pattern. Once you do that, it's going to be in your patterns, and then I'm going to put US flag. So this now is in your patterns folder when you go into your patterns. Next, you want to go into your magic tool and you want to highlight the ones that you're going to be using. You want to highlight the parts that you're going to be using as the pattern. So I'm going to have two separate patterns here, one for the stripes and then one for the stars. So the T is going to be the stars. I'm going to have this as the stars. The magic wand tool is going to, once you click on it, is going to go to any color it sees and it's going to connect it all. So like I did here before, I did the L, which is the state of Louisiana here, and I clicked on the T. Now you see how one selection will deselect and one selection will select. All you have to do, if you want to combine them both, you just hold Shift and it will add this little plus button. So now you can have both the selections here. Right now I'm just going to Control Z here. I'm just going to use the T here. So what you got to do is select and mask. Once you see that the T is correct, you can do a little bit of correction here. Maybe change the contrast a little bit. Maybe have the edges a little bit sharper. I might have the edges a little bit sharper. You can make it more smooth or not. I would not play with the smoothness, especially for rigid logos like these. And you should be good. Now you want to put the output to new layer or new layer with layer mask. It does not matter because you're not going to be playing with the layer mask. So I'm just going to go to new layer. Once I have the new layer, it's going to blank out this. You can just add this right back. What else you're going to do here is you're going to go to blended options. Once you have that, and then you're going to go to pattern overlay. As you can see, I have a chrome pattern here. You do that. You can go down, and here's your American flag logo. It's a little bit large right now, and it's inverted at a 90-degree angle, so I'm just going to go here, and that is pretty much perfect. If you want to get this outline out the way, once again, you can go back to your layer mask and configure it, but right now, this is going to be this is going to be way too small to even see in the actual game, so I'm just going to keep it. And then, once I have the stars, I'm going to make the stripes. So I'm going to go back to layer 1 here. I'm going to select this layer. I'm going to go back to selected mask here. As you can see, it looks good. Maybe we can smooth this out just a little bit so we won't have that little outline. You can play with the contrast. I like playing with the contrast a lot more. This is pretty good. New layer. Okay. Now you have this. You can add this back onto it, and then what you're going to do here is go back to blending options. You're going to go to pattern. You see I have the stars and stripes here. You can move this by just moving it here. Play with the scale a little bit more. Maybe I'll have 35. Play with the move tool a little bit more until you get just all stripes. Maybe 37 would be a little bit better. So you get all stripes here. And that looks good. Maybe I can just, yeah, that looks good. I'll just go down a little bit, make sure I'm not getting any stripes. That looks perfect. Press OK. It looks good. And this is our pattern. Now, not all patterns will have these outlines here. Like, once again, you can play with the smoothness. You can play with a little bit of the smoothness and the contrast, the smoothness and the contrast. But right now, this looks great. What I'm going to do here, you can combine all these together to make one, but and that is the right thing to do, actually. You want to merge all the layers. Once you merge all the layers, you can just move it to the helmet. Boom, just like that. That looks pretty good. You want to shrink it. Once again, shrink it back down to a reasonable size. Actually, that looks good. Then you can either turn it around this way, just like this. I don't like to do that because sometimes you can't get the exact angle. Once again, you want to go to Edit, Transform, rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. They look great. It looks just like the logo in the game. I mean, in real life. And once again, Control J. For some logos that don't have lettering, you can transform and then flip horizontally, or you can just rotate 180 like I like to do. For some of these logos, This looks good. It's exactly right. And now you have Louisiana Tech's Stars and Stripes. All right. So this, so what you're looking at here is what we've made. We made the blue jersey. We made the white helmet, and then we got the transparents. So what you want to do here is you want to copy and place the transparents into the replacements folder. I already have a transparency of one team. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a new folder. Just going to call it Louisiana Tech. It doesn't matter how many folders you make, as long as it has a PNG of what it can find, it'll put it in there. So you want to put transparency. You want to put the transparency in there. Don't just do what I did and just drag it in there, because sometimes you'll delete it and then you'll have to redo everything. So what you want to do is you want to copy and paste it on there, so you can delete it freely and without worry. So what you want to do is you want to find the jerseys, the PNG name, the PNG file name to replace with these jerseys, with the new jerseys that you made, right? And it's a good tool. Do not delete Photoshop yet. Do not exit out of Photoshop yet. Make sure that Photoshop is minimized, so you can make small adjustments on the fly, and just save over it, save a copy over it, and then you can test it out yourself. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna find out where our replacements are in the dumps. So I made a new dumps folder. What you wanna do? You wanna go to your game, hit F9 twice. Hit F9 twice, and then this will pop up. Now I'm using two screens here, so I'm kind of cheating, but this will pop up. Now it took a snapshot of the player, and the player's behind us, so we're gonna have to go and search for that jersey. Now I found the pants here, so the pants are gonna be right here. What you're gonna do is copy. You're gonna go to the blue jersey, paste it on the blue jersey pants. I pasted it on there. Now this will copy this once I put it in the replacements. Now the difficult thing is finding these jerseys. Now this, if it has a little bit of color, you probably can't see it in the video, but if it has a little bit of color, it's probably the home jersey. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this, copy the PNG name, and then just paste it on the jersey template that we used. Now it has the names, and once you put it in the replacements, it can directly replace those file names. Now the white jerseys are going to be a little bit hard to find. This is a white jersey right here. You can barely see it. You can very barely see it, but it should be in the size of 128 by 128. And it's very faded because they use a very light opacity. I think mainly just to have a better lighting and shadows for the jerseys. But however they did it that way. So next we're gonna look for the helmets as well. The helmet is not that hard to find. It should be nice and bright for you. It's 256 by 128. We have ours at about it should be 512 or 1024 by like 512 or something. But all you gotta do is copy this and then go to your white helmet. You wanna go ahead, click on it. Don't double click because you might just show the photo. Paste it on there. Beautiful. And then you just go right out of there. Go right to replacements. Go on your team. And then you would want to just copy and paste it on there. So now, once you have your jersey made, you put it right on there. Once again, you can copy the whole folder. And you can paste it on there. As long as it has a file, it can read. So what you want to do here, you go on your replacements. You already have your replacement in your file. Remember, you go on your file, you go to your build. I named it QT build. You go to your textures. You go to 21214. Go on there. It should have alternate replacements, and dumps. You put it in replacements. Now, you go onto the game. You hit F9 twice. And here it is. Now, as you see here, we have a little bit of a problem. The Bulldogs is way too big. And like I said, keep Photoshop open so you can make those minor adjustments. Like I said before, sometimes the numbers can be a little bit lower. Sometimes they don't give you leeway at all. So what we need to do here is we just need to shrink the Bulldogs a little bit down until we get it right. Right now, it looks like the helmet is perfect. The striping is perfect. And the pants looks great. We got a nice little cutoff there. It looks pretty dope, right? Except for the chin strap, right? So once you do that, go back to Photoshop. Go back to your jersey template. As you can see, the Bulldogs is a little bit too large. What we're going to do here is we're going to just go click on it. You can click on it or you can click on the actual layer here on the layer path. You're going to just hold shift and then just make it a little bit tinier. It looks good on the size when it comes to the width, but the height is just a little bit too much. So we're going to make it a little bit smaller. We made it just small, made our micro adjustment. What you want to do here, file, save a copy. Now what you can do is, just to avoid confusion, you can save a copy onto the canvas, onto your folder that says canvas. What you can do here is you can put it right here, overwrite it, put it right here. Go back to your two folders here. So it should be here on your project page, and then you can copy it and then put it right back on to the replacements page here. You want to replace that file. That was the file that had the stretched out letters. You want to go back to the game, and remember, you can keep doing this. You can keep doing this, and you can keep doing this until it's right. Go back to the game. Go on the game. See what's going on. F9 twice so it can refresh. And we almost got it. We almost got it here. It's just a little bit of overlap. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Make a little micromanagement, and then we have our home jersey. Now, and all we have to do is just make some numbers. All right, so we fixed it. We moved the wording up a little bit. It's still beautiful and big. You can still read it. It says Bulldogs. Has the beautiful, beautiful red, white, and blues here. You can see the Louisiana Tech looks great. It is not too big, not too small. It looks perfect right there. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do a little bit of numbers. All right. So with numbers, you want to find numbers in the source code file or in the dumps file, in the dumps folder actually. You want to find some numbers that you can trace over. So what you can do here is you can let's see if I can drag this here. So what I did here is I could drag these to Photoshop. Easy enough. I just put the one. You're going to get the 0 through 7, and then you want to get the 8 through 9. I grabbed the 8 through 9 first because it was right in front of me. I grabbed the 8 through 7, the 1 through 7. And then we're going to move on to my next monitor. As you can see here, it is terribly small. So what you want to do is you want to go to image. Then you want to go to image size. And right here is this is the original size. Now it is 256 by 256, and we all know darn well that we are not going to be editing at that size. Because if you try to put your own font on there, it'll look all digitized because this font because the size is too small. So what we're going to do here is we're going to increase it. So we're going to increase it by 400%. We're going to have the resample on. We're going to have preserve details 2.0 on, just because maybe it'll look a little sharper. You don't have to reduce the noise because it's going to all be just that. So, and then we've increased the size. You want to do the same thing for 8 and 9. So all you have to do here is go to this image size, 400% people, 400%. Once you go to 400%, preserve details 2.0. Just press OK. It should look like this. Now, this is where the opacity helps you a lot, because now you can just go on there and put whatever you want on top of it. So this is going to be our layer, right? And I'm just going to just move this right here because 0 through 7 should go first. And what you're going to do here is you can put a font in the game. You can put a font, any font you want. I have college bold. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my text layer, or my type tool, my type layer, right? Horizontal type tool. Go right on here. I got college bold on, which should be in the description. I want to press 0. You got 0 right here, and this is pretty much the easiest thing you'll do all day. You're just going to enlarge this size so it matches. What I like to do is I like to put it on the side here and just enlarge it until it looks good. Put it on the side again. Enlarge it until it looks good. Make some space between 0 and 1. If you want to stretch it, you can. Now this is such a cool tool, because now you have the ability to put any font you want. You can put an Arial font. You can put any font you want. You can go on. I'm going to give you a nice little tip here. Let's go to my other screen here. We're going to open up this, and we're going to go on my favorite website to find fonts, and it is the font. Now the font has so many cool fonts here that you can put as numbers. Some of them don't have all of the numbers, so always be very wary of that. I like this one, Franchise, I believe it was called. Franchise is pretty cool. It has the numbers 1 through 9, and that is nice and beautiful. And you can put those right on your font, download them, install them as a font, and they'll pop up right on Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, it'll pop up right on GIMP as well. Franchise Filled is pretty cool. So you can use that as well, and you can change it to any color you want because it is a font. So once you do that, you want to enlarge it to a certain point. This looks good enough for me. You want to press OK. What you want to do here is you want to just Control J. Now you can do this 6 times. You can do this 7 times if you want to get the rest of them, but I like to do it one at a time. Move this over here, double click it so you can go back to your text so it can be highlighted, and just press 1. Once you press 1, click OK or enter. Just reduce the size a little. Maybe you want to reduce the size a little bit. I don't know why I just enlarged like that. You want to reduce the size a little bit. Maybe you want to stretch it a little bit. Let's see if I can stretch it. Yeah, I can stretch it. Maybe you want to stretch it a little bit. Make it look good. Boom. That looks great. Now what I like to do here is I like to just grab this one. Control J again. Just in case you stretched or anything, you don't want to have stretched numbers all the way. So you want to go this, click on this, and you got the 2 right here. That's beautiful right there. Once you do that, you can go to your move tool, move it around a little bit, make it look even, and that looks perfect. Alright, so once you have the nice size, you can make this layer go away. And what I like to do is a little trick to keep the same size, to keep the same consistency, is just move this over to here. Once you move this over here, you just line it up, double click, 8. Perfect. And you don't even have to adjust the size. You can just put it right there, and then you can just do the same routine. Control J, put it right here. Double click. That's a 9 right here. You got a 9 right there, and then all you gotta do is just adjust it a little bit. Make this transparent. Hide this because this will appear on your jerseys if you do not hide it. So you will have to hide it, and that is perfect. So what you want to do here is once you are done sizing them up, you will have to rasterize them again. So what you want to do here is to rasterize them all. You can just click. You can hold Control and then click on each layer. You can scroll down if you like. You can click on each layer. Once you have them all highlighted, you can rasterize type, which is right here. And if you didn't like the the color, you can always want to merge the layers first so you can get them all at once, and then you want to go to blending options once again, go to color, and then you can change the color. So we're going to change this to the home colors, which is white. That's cool, white. Yeah, that's white. And we're going to do the same thing for 8 and 9. Rasterize the type. You can merge the layers while you're at it. Blending options. I'm going to go to color. And it should do the same thing. It's white. It always keeps track of your last overlay on how you did it. And then you got nice home logos. Now, if you want to add an outline, once again, you can go to blending options. And we're going to just take a look at Louisiana Tech's here, as I am doing those. And it is red, I believe. Yes, it's red. So, we can go to stroke. This is a little bit too much, but like I said, it goes by the last time you used that layer style. The stroke is going to be, the stroke color is going to be red, so I'm going to go to red here. Bring this down a little bit, maybe 5. Go on the outside here, we're on the outside, so we can do a little bit more. We can do 7. 7 looks good. 7 looks perfect, so we're going to do 7 here. And once again, it's going to remember what you did the last time you chose that layer. So what you're going to do here, you're going to go to blending options, go to stroke, 7, make it red, and then boom, you got nice letters here, nice big and bold, and they're going to fit perfectly on your jersey. Now, once again, you're going to have to do the same process that you did to find the jerseys, and you're going to have to find the number for the home team. So we're going to move on to my second monitor here, and we're going to pull those back up. So like I forgot to tell you guys to just save it, but you guys should know that already. Just save it on there and have them nice and transparent. So once you got your 8 and 9 and your 1 and 7, you're going to find out where they lay. So right here, they have a nice little red outline, so we're going to just put it right here. That is going to be our 1 through 7. I like to name them 1 through 7 just so I won't get confused because I am dumb. Then we're going to find 8 and 9 here. 8 and 9 is right here. And don't mind that white there. You don't have to worry about that. As long as you got the black transparency done, you should be fine. And then you want to just go on the highlight, paste them. Once you paste them, go back, click on copy, on replacements. Go on Louisiana. Well, I have Louisiana Tech. You're gonna go paste, replace the files, put it right there. Boom. That should be looking good. Actually, I didn't go to 8 and 9. I didn't save 8 and 9, so I'm gonna have to go back. Alright, made a little mistake there. There was a little bit of a naming issue, but you can see how easy it is to make mistakes on here. So just double check and triple check everything and make sure that everything is looking right. Once again, that the 8 and 9 are there on your screen, but the 1 through 7, but the 0 through 7 are not. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you copied and pasted the wrong PNG file like I did, or maybe you put it on the wrong PNG file like I did. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong here, but just don't be frustrated. Try to take your time. Try to figure out what is going on, and you can get this done relatively quickly. So we go back to the game here, and we're gonna see if the numbers did work. So we got our I almost said soldier. We got our player here. He has number 3. We're gonna F9 twice to make sure it worked, and it did. It's a little bit large here, so I might have to do a little bit more adjustments, but it looks perfect on these players. Let's try another player here. 39. He has both of the textures, so he should have them. And it looks perfect, man. It really looks good. Looks front and back here. A little bit of a dark spot, but you can fix that by doing a little bit of patching here. It doesn't look that dark either, so it should be good. But you got the Adidas logo, CSA. It looks pretty perfect to me. Maybe a little bit more adjusting. Android's gonna have to move the numbers. And once again, if your numbers are at the sides and it's not at the top, you're gonna have to get a modded ISO for that. So it's not really you can do. It's not really you can do on your end, but it's on a development team's end. You can ask one of the development teams members to move the sleeves. Usually he does that by default. But if you're using like a created team, just don't use sleeve numbers or shoulder numbers if you're going to replace their numbers, or if you're going to put something there on the stripes or on the sides. So just make sure you have that control when you're making a creative team. You can control if you want numbers on the helmets. You can control if you want numbers on the sleeves or on the shoulders. That's all up to you. If you know how you're going to make your you're going to make your team. So that's basically it, right? We have the numbers, we got the pants, and we got the shirt. It's the same thing, but in reverse for the away team. Now, the away team has different textures. Like I said, they have white, and then the colored numbers. Once again, you just do that process again. They all have the same helmet. They all have the same one helmet. If you're making a creative team, I'm pretty sure you can make up to 4 different types of helmet textures. So you can always have a lot of flexibility with that. And that will be a lot of fun to see a lot of people's creations. But for a team that is hard baked into the game, they will be hard baked with one helmet texture. Once again, the alternates can be a different whole texture altogether, which can be a blessing or a curse if you're trying to make the home jersey and the alternate the same. You're gonna have to copy and paste, and you're gonna have to copy and paste the same jersey, but make it an alternate, and then find the PNG file number for that, and then paste it on there. That's a little bit complicated, but I mean, if you've been watching for this long, I think you can do it. Once again, the trend straps are missing, but we'll get that fixed in on a later update. But this is basically how the jerseys are made, and hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this doesn't take me long to edit and post it out to you guys, but hopefully you did learn something here. And if you have any troubleshooting issues, please direct it to the comments below. I will help you as fast as I can. I work a full-time job, and I've been trying to make videos. I'm trying to push out USFL videos out. So please be patient with me. Talk to me in the Discord. Talk to us in the Discord at NCAA 06 Revival. Oh jeez, shout out Al. But NCAA 06 next. In the Discord. We'll have the Discord link below. We'll have all the resources that I use below. And hopefully you guys have a blessed day. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon. Have a great night. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe.